Okay, that's nice. So we got it set up, but how does it tie to our React application? Well, let's go back to React now. If you remember, React application was defined source, and then we have this app.js and so on. Now let's run the front end. Now to run the front end, we're gonna need a separate terminal window or tab. It's up to you which one you're gonna choose. So if you're using a standalone terminal, you can usually the hotkey is either if you're a Mac Command T, or you can click the. Let me show you. There's probably a plus sign up there in the tabs that you can click to open a new one in the same window. So you want to do that so that we have two separate windows, one for the backend server and then one for the front end. Now, since I'm working with Visual Studio Code, the built-in terminal, I can also do it there. So in this case, I would just press this plus here or this chevron to choose what kind of terminal I want to open. For example, a new command prompt. I would see now some tabs here on the sidebar. I can go to the node one, which is the backend server, or I can go to the other CMD that I opened just for the front end. Now to run the front end, make sure I am in the root directory of this repository, meaning further introduction to React. I'm going to run npm space start. And that should run React script start. Should take some time for the front end to open. I think this one will automatically open the browser window with the React application. Oh, it's detecting that I use 3000 for the backend. Would you like to run another port? So what we can do here is either accept this, or maybe I'm going to press Control C to finish that. Then I'm going to go back to the backend code here, server/index.js. Instead of being 3000, I'm going to choose 3001 so it doesn't conflict with the same port as the front end. Okay, I'm going to save that, go back to the backend, make sure I kill the server and run it again. Now it's going to run in 3001, the port. Okay, now with that problem solved, going back to the other terminal instance for the front end, I'm going to npm start again. There should be no more conflict now. But this one will use the port 3000. So we got localhost colon 3000 for the front end and localhost colon 3001 for the back end. Let's see in the browser. Open a new tab, localhost 3000. What is going on here? Caught time errors. Assignment to undeclared variable titles. There's some error going on here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's an error in the code. Let's fix that. No problem. So if you notice, I opened the DevTools to debug this. I press F12 in the keyboard. If you cannot press F12, right click anywhere, click inspect. It should open the DevTools here. Now what I did, I went to the console tab of the DevTools so I can see this error message, uncaught, reference error, whatever. I can actually click the source code name, file name, so that it goes to exactly where the error occurred. So I know, oh, okay, I didn't declare this variable with the const keyword. That's probably why that's happening. So let's try it again. Going to the Visual Studio Code, app.js, the line with titles. I think I maybe just need to add const here because that's the syntax required for JavaScript. Let's try again going to the browser. And now I can see the data was fetched correctly. And if I open DevTools with 12 and click to console tab, let me click the trash so it doesn't see stuff and refresh. So we don't have that problem anymore. Now there's this warning here about React each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Now this typically happens when you do a mapping and you're generating components dynamically. It's not really a problem per se, but it always requires us to specify a unique key prop. We can also fix that warning, going back to Visual Studio Code. So we got to go to the component app where it's rendering, that is the return value. We have some JSX here. So I'm doing some mapping somewhere. Okay, it's line 31. I'm generating these divs with the message dynamically with the map. So all we have to do is, okay, this generated div, we have to add a prop called key. And the value must be something that's unique for each of these different elements. Typically, it's the ID of the record. I don't know if we have an ID for this message, so I'll just put the message itself there. Other people also do add a second argument to this callback, call the index of the array, and place it here. But there's a downside to that, and it's because if this list is sorted, it might cause some problems. But we know this is not a sorted list, so it should be okay if you do it that way. Okay, let's go back to the browser. I'll refresh. Now I see no more problems in the console here.